This is your host, Danny, and this is Myths and Legends from English Plus Podcast. In today's episode, we're going to talk about Pandora. Who is Pandora? You hear this name all the time, but do you know the story behind Pandora? Join me in this episode and we will learn more about Pandora. But before we do that, let me remind you that you can have English Plus premium episodes if you subscribe on Apple Podcasts or if you become a patron on Patreon. And if you become a patron, you will also get every issue of English Plus magazine. Issue 1 is out, and every week we're going to have a new issue. The links are in the description if you would like to subscribe and have all the premium and extra benefits English Plus podcast has to offer. And now, without further ado, let's talk about Pandora. In Greek mythology, Pandora was the first woman, infamous for bringing evil into the world and causing humankind's downfall. She was sent to Earth by Zeus, king of the gods, who wanted to take revenge on the titan Prometheus. Prometheus had created mortals and had stolen fire from the gods and given it to them. Zeus ordered the divine crafts worker Hephaestus to form the first woman, Pandora, from clay. The goddess Athena gave life to Pandora. Aphrodite made her beautiful, and Hermes taught her to be cunning and deceitful. Zeus sent Pandora down to earth, but Prometheus, whose name means forethought, would have nothing to do with her. However, his brother Epimetheus, whose name means afterthought, married Pandora, who brought with her a sealed box, or often they say a jar, as a gift from the gods. Some accounts say that Epimetheus opened Pandora's box. Others maintain that Pandora herself opened it. Inside the container were disease, old age, poverty, evil, war, and all other ills that have plagued humans ever since. They flew out into the world when the box was opened, leaving only hope at the bottom of the box to give people a scrap of comfort. A few accounts say that the box contained all the good things that Prometheus planned to give the human race, but when Pandora gave in to curiosity and opened the box, she let all the blessings escape. Pandora and Epimetheus had a daughter, Pyrrha, who appears in a Greek myth about a great flood. Pyrrha and her husband, Deucalion, were the flood's sole survivors and became the parents of a new human race. Pandora is viewed much differently today than she was in ancient times. To the ancient Greeks, Pandora was sent to Earth as revenge for humans getting fire from Prometheus. The myth, especially as documented by Hesiod, is very clear in its view of women as the bringers of countless troubles to men. However, Hesiod notes that even though women are the source of many problems, a man cannot simply live trouble-free by avoiding marriage. For a man who does not marry will never have heirs and will have no one to care for him when he is old. While no doubt exaggerated for the sake of entertainment, Hesiod's description is likely to be an accurate reflection of how ancient Greek men viewed women. Necessary and vital, but troublesome. But of course, that is the ancient view. And for some people who might think that Pandora or women are the source of all evil in this world, consider the source. Well, Zeus sent her, no? So who is the real source? If you want to take it this simply, after all, this is just a story. But the source of all evil is Zeus himself. Zeus sent her, right? And Zeus is a man, according to myth and legends. So, never accuse women of being the source of all evil. Anyway, let's stick to the myth and the legend that we have, and we're talking about Pandora. Let's talk about the key themes and symbols. For many, Pandora symbolizes curiosity. This comes from her opening the box and releasing bad things into the world, though as I said in some versions, she simply brings the box as a gift from the gods. So she did not just open the box because she was curious, it was a gift, and gifts are meant to be opened. Anyway, for the ancient Greeks, Pandora was more a symbol of the wiles of womanhood, a potentially dangerous figure who carried out the gods' punishment of men. As the first woman, Pandora also stands as a symbol of femininity, both beautiful and cunning in her way. The box represents the vengeance of the gods, since it contains all the bad things that eventually escape into the world and plague humans for the rest of time. The character of Pandora had its fair share in art, literature, and everyday life. The story of Pandora has endured and transformed itself over the centuries. Most people familiar with the tale today are not aware of the box as punishment by the gods for humans possessing fire, but know instead of a version where Pandora disobeys after she is told not to open the box. Pandora has been the subject of paintings by artists such as John William Waterhouse and Dante Rossetti. And the myth loosely inspired the 1929 G.W. Pabst silent film Pandora's Box, starring Louise Brooks. The mythical box of Pandora is often referenced in modern art and culture, and the term Pandora's box is commonly used to refer to a thing or situation that can lead to a great deal of unforeseen trouble. So that is the story of Pandora, but before I leave you, I will leave you with something to think about. Pandora, as the first woman in Greek mythology, can be compared to Eve, the first woman in the Judeo-Christian tradition. Both women are directly responsible for introducing evil into the world, although they had not intended to do it. But while the Greek gods deliberately sent Pandora for that purpose as a punishment to man, Eve had been created by God to be a helper to the first man, Adam. And it was only her disobedience that unleashed evil. What does that tell you about the differences between the Greek and the Judeo-Christian attitudes towards women, as well as the way the divine relates to mankind? Well, that's some food for thought. Think about it, and if you would like to discuss that, you can always reach me on my website, EnglishPlusPodcast.com, and my social media channels. Well, that'll be everything for today. Don't forget, there are English Plus premium episodes and English Plus magazine that you can subscribe and have access to. The links are in the description, so you can use them to subscribe right now. Use all the things English Plus has to offer and never stop learning. This is your host, Danny. Thank you very much for listening to another episode from English Plus Podcast. I will see you next time.